Hey friends, welcome. We've got a waxing moon that is reaching its quarter fullness in Scorpio. Sex, death, regeneration, the underworld, and the pelvis. So we have to do pelvic floor visualization, release, unwinding. And Scorpio actually does govern the pubic bone and the coccyx. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to identify these four corners of our pelvis to help us find the pelvic floor and be able to really subtly move it just to get a little bit of awakening and enlivening. So you might even take your hands and place it on your pubic bone and on your coccyx, your tailbone, the very, very, very base of the spine. Some people think the sacrum's the tailbone, but we are really like, if I had a tail, where would it be emanating from? And these corners, so see if you can identify the halfway point, the middle zone between these two bones, and get a sense of we've taken the knee joints out, we've taken the ankle and the foot joints out of the equation. So it's really truer to the pelvis and the low back, the lumbar spine. So what do you have to do to find a balance? And then we're going to add to the bony landmarks by contacting the ischial tuberosities, our sit bones or sits bones. And you can find those by putting your hands at the top of your thighs and just dragging them up. Usually it's like right, you kind of have to dig into the crease a little bit, but you can find them, the bones. And again, for a lot of us who, especially those of us with a natural anterior pelvic tilt, those bones are going to be tilted back like this. I'm exaggerating. Some people have the opposite where they're tucked under. So just as we found halfway point between the coccyx and the pubic bone, we also want to incorporate the weight of these sit bones and also balancing it from side to side between the two sit bones. But I also find that they're more helpful for engaging this front to back equanimity. So see what that's like and consciously take a breath. We're using more visualization. So if there's any effort behind it, release that effort and just focus on what feels natural. How can I move back and forth without engaging and gripping? And just with that visualization of these four corners, like a diamond, like a baseball field. And you've got second to home. And then you got first and third, equally as important, just a different perception. And you might even think of right in the center, our chi, our Sushumna nadi, our center line, our axis. And you could think of like panes of glass, like little stained glass where you have quarters and each quarter is its own stained glass. And we want them to be the same size. So whatever it takes to get a sense of visualization and personalization into your pelvic floor. And just let your breath move and see what you have to release or relax or engage on the deeper intrinsic level to find that. So with this sense of equanimity, now that you have your four panes of stained glass, feel free to color them in as you'd like, or just keep them like blood red, Scorpio. We are going to take the center of that diamond and draw very small circles clockwise with it, just 3 times. So go slowly and make sure you're hitting all the points. We're going to start at the top, at the pubic bone, and then round the corner to the sit bone. And then we're doing it very small, like a silver dollar, round the corner to the tailbone, and then round the corner to the left sit bone, and then round the corner back to the pubic bone. And then do that 2 more times on your own with a sense of visualization and hitting all those points. And last one, go in with your breath. And when you're back to the pubic bone, pause. Just take a breath, let it go. And then we're going to find that sense of center again and do the circles to the opposite direction. So again, starting anterior at the pubic bone, touch in at the left corner sit bone, keep rounding to the tailbone, really small, round to the right sit bone and to the pubic bone. And then do 2 more with your breath at that pace, letting it unwind. All right. So you can feel how this dropping from our center, anchoring, allows the spine that stacks right on top of that to just grow like the tree trunk out of the roots down here. So keeping that in mind, we're going to step our right foot out to the side, or go your left foot so it's not confusing, and we're mirroring or whatever you happen to step with. And see how when you do that, the window panes, the stained glass changes. So what can you do in your body to keep that equanimity? And for me, I find I lean over to the side, but then same thing. It's all rooting and then it's all rising. And then we're going to take this and keep that length and that connection, but rotate your trunk up, and you can let your leg rotate out at the same time. And then rotate back with your breath and keep the window panes even. And then try that 2 more times. Just really easy. Rotate in, keeping that sense of lightness and space in the pelvis, and rotate back. And last one, rotate out and rotate back. And then we're going to do the similar thing, but we're going to keep this foot grounded, so that then the movement's coming more from the trunk and spine. So this time, ground the foot. See then the difference of keeping the window panes even as you spiral in and spiral out. 2 more times. And let it be free. Let it be enjoyable. We're getting new movement, new sensation, new awareness in an area that is often out of our view. Most of the time out of our view, let's be real. Okay, we're going to switch legs. Unless you have a certain profession where you'd be looking at something like that all day long. So we're going to put the other leg out now. Get that sense of equanimity, our 4 window panes, our coccyx as the root aligning with that trajectory, and then the spine branching up out of it. And once you have that, let the muscle grip go and just keep it as a visualization. And then we're going to just really easily start to rotate the trunk and the leg out, keeping the evenness. This is a more challenging side for me. So notice what you do. Where do you grip, and can you let that go? 2 more times. Rotate the leg, rotate the trunk, and back to center. And 1 more time. Rotate leg and trunk, and back. And then keep that foot grounded, and we're going to rotate again, but it's coming more from trunk pelvic floor to accommodate where this hip joins the party. 2 more times. Rotate, keep the evenness in your stained glass triangle. And back. Do I need to move more forward or back? Are the pains all even on this last round? Breathe into it. Let it feel so nice. It's just a real way to stir up the cauldron down there. And then we're going to come back. And let's go hands and knees and do, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. We're going to do a child's pose spiral, not all the way back, but we're going to keep that same sense of what's happening in the pelvic floor. Do I have 4 equal window panes? So this is what it looks like. And as I'm moving through this motion, I'm letting it be guided by that pelvic floor. So come to your hands and knees now that you've seen it. And we're going to do it just like that. So instead of 3 times in one direction, we're going to go the whole circle back to the top, and then reverse direction the other way back to the top. And we'll do that 3 times. So take your hands and knees, take a breath in, let this feel light. And starting at the top, we're gonna rotate around. Let the sit bones, the pubic bone, the tailbone, stay in that relationship with your breath and just a visualization of that tissue of the pelvic floor allowing this movement. That's 1. We'll do 2 more. All the way, big rotation. Hit every corner of the circle. We're going pretty wide on this. At the top, take a breath in and exhale as you spiral counterclockwise, keeping that evenness in all your window panes of the pelvic floor as we reach back to the top. Big inhale and exhale. Last time, start to circle all the way around, making space in the bones for that pelvic floor to expand all the way back to top. And inhale, and our last exhale to the counterclockwise. Pelvic floor expansion. Let it feel so good. Yes. It's hard not to express in that one because, wow, if you are a sitter, like most of us are, for so much of the time, it feels so nice. So the final move we're going to do to unwind our pelvic floor, some people do a 90-90. If you have any pelvic floor issues, instability, nerve injuries, former surgeries and sutures and scar tissues, this might feel better for you also. Having your knees bent and the legs touching the thighs, like this is great. This is all the challenge I need. So if you face your body basically in between here, we're like cutting the difference, and just post your hands into the ground so you're propping your spine up. We want a neutral spine. We don't want to struggle to get into this position. So we just want, again, that awareness. Where's my pubic bone? Where's my coccyx? Where are my sit bones? How can I make it more even? And that's just the question. And we let our body do the talking. And so there, for me, I found neutral. Once you also find neutral, just enjoy it. Let your core, your central channel be heavy. Let your roots drop into the ground like an anchor, right through that center, lifting up through your spine, into the head. And we're going to stay stacked and again this time we're even going to do smaller than a silver dollar. We're going to do like a nickel sized circle with that center channel, just with the breath, almost not even moving it. So close your eyes, really feel that you're centered over your middle of your pelvic floor, and just visualize that rotating, the softness of these muscles 3 times counterclockwise. And after you've done your 3 clockwise, oh, which one did I say? Do the opposite of what you just did for 3 times. Opposite direction with your breath and your visuals and no effort, just keeping your body stacked tall. Great. Oh, I hope you felt what I just felt. And if you didn't, do it another time or two, because if it's your first time trying this, you're listening to my instructions, but pause and do it again without my words. Now we're going to face our body over the forward leg. I just had a parasympathetic response because I'm swallowing a bunch of saliva. My voice dropped. I'm just pointing that out because this shit's for real. So and we're experiencing it together, hopefully. And if you're not, take the time and do it again. Not right after necessarily, but another day. So face your forward leg and again, just wait. Think of the equal weight of pubic bone, tailbone. Where's my space between them? And then sit bones side to side. You know what? We are gonna, I'm just out of the box. We're gonna do it different because this is what feels right. We're gonna keep that grounding into the ground and we're gonna do a couple of chest spirals instead. So take your heart, which is at the top end, or we'll say the middle end of this stick of coreness, humanity that we are embodying. So keep the bottom from like here down grounded. And then we're just going to do super small. Rotate your chest on top of that. Try not to even engage the muscles along the spine. It's such a small move. Did I say 3 in the clockwise direction? If I didn't, then go ahead and do it. I've got this to keep center. Pressing my palms together in the midline helps me to identify my midline, so I'm spiraling around it. And once you've done your 3 clockwise, we're gonna reverse and do 3 counterclockwise. And again, just this little challenge of hand into hand at my heart keeps me centered. Okay, well, that just unwound that side. So now, oh, very slowly, let's pause before we move. I will say that this is why I feel qualified to teach these things, because in my own body, there are lots of picadillos, chronic pain points, lifelong arthritic injuries and buildups and stuff. So that's why I really enjoy going slow and breaking this down from a really embodied perspective. So we are with the other leg forward. And again, we're going to center and we are posting our hands into the ground and using it almost as stilts or like stakes on a tent, where you want your spine to be peaked right on top of that centered middle channel, the Sushumna Nadi, the space between the pubic bone and the tailbone. And then also the space between the sit bone and the other sit bone. And then, gosh, this time the visualization, instead of being a pane of glass, showed up as tissue paper, like those Japanese lanterns that have a metal frame and then the tissue paper is draped around them. So I guess that's indicating that this can be such a delicate position. So once you find that, just pause and breathe and reinforce it. Again, for me, this is the more challenging side. It's highlighting an obturator nerve injury. And so if you are also dealing with any of that residual stuff, go slow, take the time to breathe, to be relaxed, and to not think that it has to look like anything at the end. I'm more curious about, can you feel a sense of unwinding? And so once you have that feeling of stacked centration of your center line, again, I'm swallowing lots of saliva, parasympathetic release. Take your tailbone and energetically, visually draw 3 circles in a clockwise motion. And that might even just look like imagining kind of a Kegel where you're just engaging one bit of that circle of your urethra opening or your vaginal opening or even your anal canal, engaging in just like a small circular formation as it releases and lets go around that circle clockwise. And once you've done your 3, pause, take a breath, center again, get your tissue paper over your frames, and 3 counterclockwise circles, just with your visualization, with the muscles of the pelvic floor, more of the nerve impulse of the muscles, not a muscle grip. 2 more counterclockwise. And last one, counterclockwise. You might notice too, with each one you do, you get a little more of a release. Okay, so now we're going to turn the chest so that it's facing the forward leg. And again, prop yourself up. Allow a second for your muscles to find this new position. Get your center forward to back, side to side. Pause. And then for me, I'm going to bring my hands up at my midline so I know what midline is. And another thing, I'm a little too rotated for midline. So when I bring my hands up, it shows me what my true midline is, which is less rotation. And then that engaged psoas and adductor. So I consciously let those go. And once you have your stacked position, 3 small chest rotations to the right, to the clockwise motion, with breath, with as little spinal muscle engagement. And the last one, and we are back at neutral, pause, reverse directions, so 3 counterclockwise rotation. Central channel is the axis, pelvic floor is keeping you grounded, and you're right in the middle, true center of it. And that was the last one. And we're just going to pause, start to unravel your position bit by bit, move, get some blood flowing back into these areas that it got compressed. Do what you need to do to slowly walk yourself out of it. And after this, I encourage you to take a rest pose supine. You could call it shavasana. You could call it corpse pose for you Scorpios celebrating this waxing Scorpio moon. And until the next moon phase, thanks so much for joining me, and gratitude, light, namaste.